What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, February the something, I guess. And you know what that means? It's podcast time. Podcast time. Bam. What's up, everybody? My name's Grover. Let's see if I brought Battleflag in at the right spot. Pew! Oh, so close. Let me unmute him first so he can talk. How do you do that? God, this struggle is real. Oh, wait. Ba-ba-da-ba! Battleflag in the house. Hello? Unmute yourself, please. Maybe he can't even hear me. Let's find out if he can hear me. Audio settings. Oh, that's why, because the microphone is set to that. So let's set it to that. Bammo! Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, sir.
Yay.
Are you coming in over here, Bowie?
Hey, Bowie. Let me adjust you. Phrasing. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I had a new headset related problems, so.
Ooh, we got the new
it's
headsets.
Yeah.
Here,
let
let me look.
You know
I'm gonna try and keep the stream so that I can't see your. Ooh.
Want to know what the best part is? Is
snazzy headset.
they just like, ooh. So you can be all like gangsta and stuff and just have them like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, you and your gangster cred.
Yeah, it's about as negative as possibly can be.
Yeah, it's kind of like me playing a packet of gangster rap during my 50 favorite songs of last year. Oh wait, I did that.
Oh, you did, yes.
When'd you get him today?
Yeah, I got him today at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock ish, something like that.
That's why you didn't answer the phone when I called.
I was touching my headphones. No, but yeah. So they can hook up to the PS4 as well. So I was playing some GTA. I finished GTA 5 last night.
Yeah, you were saying that. We'll have to talk about
what a great game. But so I was playing into that, and it's because they're 7.1 headphones. So it was just like, considering I was using earbuds before, the PS4 was connected to the TV. So I mean, I was getting good volume out of that. But anything that was playing to the computer was let's just say that I think the earbuds came with like an old cell phone or something that I was using.
Yeah,
so
they were not very good.
Needless to say, they were trash. But
yeah, I used those ones a couple of times when I was over there when we were like splittering them with something else. Splitterizing.
So now we can splitterize. If you're ever coming over again, we can use that splitter. Because the mix amp I have, so we can split your headphones and my headphones both into the mix amp.
Oh, I like it.
So yeah, but welcome everyone to episode number 3.
Plausium
of Games, Dinks, Opinions.
Hey,
I almost tweeted that. I was tweeting it and I looked and I was like, something doesn't say, oh, there's no R in drinks, and that changes a lot.
Ban that shit on Twitch.
Yeah.
It'd be more than Rip VOD, it'd be Rip account.
Rip account. It's okay, we'll just make a new one and we'll call it Terrible Dinks.
Garable Taming Brothers.
Garable Taming Frutters, yes. So, how was your week? Did you do any gaming this week?
A little bit of gaming. I'm not gonna lie, after our little bout of playing League of Legends on the, when was that? Monday? Sunday, Monday, whatever that was.
I think Monday.
Monday, yeah. I kind of played like a game or two of League of Legends a day all week, which I have never done. Partly because I started playing tanky top lanes like Renekton.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Nice.
Even though I realized I still am terrible at League of Legends, but whatever.
See, the thing with me with League of Legends that I got, I mean, I'm nowhere near good. I haven't done my promos for season 5 yet, but I was like high silver in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the way that I got good at the game was playing with other people.
Yeah.
And people would teach me kind of what items did and what certain champions were, and what items you should buy to counter. So it's not always the same static build every time, but it's okay if I'm playing this person, then I should build this. If I'm playing that person, and it just comes with time. And then I hit level 30, and I just started playing a bunch of normals. I didn't play ranked at the beginning just because you have to then get rune pages and get your masteries up to snuff. And
which I have no freaking clue about.
And you got to learn to use flash, because I know you use ghost and heal right now.
Yeah.
Flash is by far the most important spell in the game. And
which I've seen lots on on
and the way
LCS.
the way to get good at flashing phrasing is wow, you just yes, exactly. No, but you make a custom game with no one else in it, so it's like you versus one bot.
Yeah, like what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just practice flashing over walls, and you just kind of practice the clicking to get to flash, and then obviously you use different, like top laners. A lot of them use teleport or ignite. And then supports use exhaust, which slows somebody down and takes their defenses down a bit. And then ADCs will use heal because it's a heal plus a speed boost.
Yeah.
Mid laners use a lot of different things, whether it's ignite, heal, barrier, which is a shield. There's tons of options to use.
Like it's funny. The more I think, like, oh, I'm gonna play, I'll try a different character, and like I've tried a bit of Garen and tried Scion and a few others, and like, oh, this is kind of fun. But then I'm just the more I do that, the more I realize, like, fuck, I know nothing about this.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, the way for me that I got good was, well, not good, but decent at champions was I would play one champion as much as I could, and there's things you can do in League of Legends that are the pre-mades. So you can choose your lane and champion even before you go into character selection. So you always get what you want and the lane you want. So I don't know if that's strictly level 30 or not, but that's probably something that I would recommend you start doing now too. If you want to start mastering a Renekton or start mastering a Scion or somebody like that, just keep doing these pre-mades as that champion, and you'll always get top lane. You won't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Or if you want to master, then that's the best way to master champion right now, in my opinion. But
depends on whether or not I actually want to devote more time to that. But this week I decided to.
Sharon wants to know if we've been playing any Battlefield Hardline. I have.
No, I'll defer to you with this one because I don't have the capability. But
right, I'm actually going to be streaming it after tonight.
Nice.
I played it a little bit, and I, like every other first-person shooter, suck. So the dream
now,
is.
Do you suck like? Oh, well, it's Titanfall and occasionally I'm okay. Or do you suck like BioShock and it's like, wow, I just want to take the controller from you?
Probably a combination of column A, column B.
Come see, come saw.
Yeah, but I haven't played a whole lot of Battlefield games.
I don't know that I've played any, to be honest with you. Because I kind of got my fill of Call of Duty style games from Modern Warfare. I haven't played any past. Did play Modern Warfare 2, and thought like, hey, the same thing. So,
well, I mean,
I didn't play any of the Battlefield games because
Battlefield's quite different than Call of Duty, actually.
And that's what I've seen, but I still never tried it.
Yeah.
What would be the biggest difference? Like if I was going to pick it up.
So things that are different for me: map size, first of all. With a lot of the Battlefield games, it's huge maps and more players. So in a Call of Duty match, it's like six versus 6, 5 versus 5, 8 versus 8, whatever it is. When you're playing, if you're doing some Battlefield maps, it's like 20 versus 20.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's definitely different in that sense.
Now, because it's bigger, phrasing. Are you all playing as like run and gun infantry, or do some people like get to be boots on the ground? You get to be a sniper. You get to be.
Yeah, you could still do all that. Like you could be medics and snipers and another thing too with Battlefield, there's cars, helicopters. So instead of just having a random spawn point, you you have a map when you're dead, and it shows you various spawn points. So if somebody has captured an area, you can spawn in that area, or if someone is in a helicopter, you can spawn as a gunner in their helicopter, or if they're in a vehicle, you can spawn as a passenger in their vehicle. So it's kind of similar. Like PlanetSide did the same thing. I don't know if you know anything about PlanetSide, but
a little bit.
yeah.
Really.
So yeah, I mean, like Sharon said, Battlefield's more squad based, where COD is a lot of deathmatch. Like, I mean,
Running,
a lot of the
gun, yeah.
like, I mean, a lot of the professional COD and CS:GO, it's capture the flag and it's team stuff. But Battlefield's the same kind of thing, but just on a larger portion. And Hardline has kind of taken what was in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 and some of the goods about Call of Duty and that, and have kind of merged it together. So it's I mean, Hardline, it's a cops and robbers is exactly what it is. So it's almost like it's like Payday, but with a budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got that. You know, I just had a thought. You know what would make CS:GO and Call of Duty capture the flag games better? If they were capture the flag from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Yeah.
I missed that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I would love to.
Fucking Teddies versus
Squirrels. I mean, I would love.
Yeah.
I just remember sitting with a sniper rifle and sniping a teddy bear and just having fluff go everywhere when you blow their head off. Like,
there's something that's ingrained in my head about Nazi teddy bears that I will find eternally funny.
oh, they're amazing. And that's a game that I need to plug in my N64 and play again. Even just play the campaign of it, because the campaign was so amazing.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many classic, lines and spots like that. It's funny, like, you think like in the N64 days, they used to just like toss off 3D platformers like that, and it's like, oh look, they're all good. Like, it was like Super Mario World. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, okay, we'll do Legend of Zelda. It's like, oh, this is crazy, and they just do all these other ones, and none of them are bad. Like Banjo-Kazooie was fantastic.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah. Do you want to? Can you check the plug on your mic? I'm getting a little bit of popping on my end.
Plug on the mic. Plug on the mic. We should be okay.
Is anyone, Sharon, do you hear any
Test.
crackling with Battleflag's audio?
Testing.
Or is it on my end?
Hello. Testes. 1, 2, 3.
Testes, yes. Exactly.
We'll see here. Could just be, I know sometimes when we talk at the same time on Skype, sometimes Skype just goes little pixelated things.
Could be. Or it could be on my end with Skype, so.
Apparently Sharon says it's all good, so 100%. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Cool.
What else did you play other than Hardline and GTA this week? Anything?
I played. What else did I play? Well, I streamed Prison Architect on Wednesday, I definitely have a better layout for my prison now.
Orange is the new Grover.
Orange is the new Grover, yeah, exactly. So that's got me back to my SimCity roots. I mean, all those sim games I loved, except for The Sims. I never really got into The Sims, but
the new Sin City.
But
Sim City.
the new SimCity I love, and I would love to go back and play again. They had a rocky start, but
yeah, was more of a functionality thing.
Yeah, like I can remember the original SimCity for Super Nintendo, playing that all the time, and like even the roller coaster tycoon games that spawned off of SimCity,
right.
Sim Farm, all of those I would.
Sim Farm, I that one started to reach, or the one that was actually bad that I remember was Sim Ant. That was actually a bad game, but Sim
I don't
Farm
remember a whole lot about Sim Ant.
Yeah, it was not a good game.
Yeah.
It was a disgrace to the Sims. No, it just like even SimCity 2000 was entertaining.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, one sec. But the new SimCity was really good, other than the shitty start that it had with the logins. And I think they've even come as far as adapting an offline mode now, so that you can, like, you used to have to be connected to Origin to do it.
Yeah, they made, and the problem was with that, they made some poor choices with having to be connected to a server and not having the game work when it started. I mean, it's like we talked about last week, right? With patching games and games that aren't finished. Like, especially when you put a name on there, like, that people would expect something else, like, not necessarily Assassin's Creed or COD or anything, but when you put out a game with SimCity on it,
right,
there is, like, that's legendary status.
Yeah,
like, that's you have now huge expectations, and the fact that they just kind of failed, I think, was probably multiplied by the fact that they failed on a legendary name.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem is that they wanted it to be online oriented, and there was maps and certain plots on each map, and they wanted it to be like each friend would have one plot on the map, and you could go visit your friends' cities, and to me that was super cool, but they just, I mean, it just
couldn't make it work.
Well, no, it's like, it works now, it's perfectly fine, but
yeah,
it's just another example of a video game launching that just wasn't fully prepared for its launch. And I mean, that seems to be
common. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh well. So yeah, what else have I been playing this week? Haven't been playing, but I downloaded the new games for PS Plus.
Which you told me, and I can't go Grim Fandango.
No, Grim Fandango is like a new release. It's not a free game.
Okay.
So the free ones on PS4 were, why can't I think of them? The new one that came out. Let me look. Apotheon, which is like the Metroidvania type game. The hell was the other one?
The Bastion one, Transistor.
Yeah, Transistor was the other one for PS4. And then for Vita, I got the one that was most noticeable was Rogue Legacy, which also I get on PS4 because of it too. So I have to start playing Rogue Legacy in bed. I think that's in bed.
Ladies, if you ever wondered what Grover does in bed when he's thinking about having a good time,
he plays Rogue Legacy.
It's Rogue Legacy.
Yep.
Actually, it's probably Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Probably. So yeah, and now that I've finished GTA 5, I don't know, I'm either going to start Dragon Age or Shadows of Mordor. I'm not sure. I think I want to stream Mordor. I don't know if I want to stream Dragon Age, just because Dragon Age is such a long, incredibly intense game that I think that would be a good off-stream game. But I want to play Mordor. I want to play Watch Dogs. I want to play the new Wolfenstein game that I have. Not only that, but I mean, there's some PC games too that I want to play, including Battlefield, which I'll continue playing tonight. But yeah. Just
I have to actually, I have to check Steam after we're done to see if Prison Architect is still on sale.
Probably not, because it was a midweek thing.
Oh, well, I'll look anyway. There might actually be something. And one of the one I really wanted, which is one to look, and you know what, I should check, because if I get it on Steam, then I won't be able to stream it, and I would love to stream Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
And ever since you reminded me that came out this week, I do all old memories of Grim Fandango and wanting to play it.
I do want to
I have to check to see if it's on an Xbox 360, like live, just to download on there. Because if I can do it there, then I can stream it.
I think it's only, PS4 and PC.
Let's check.
Let me.
Fandango Remastered. on the Steam. Hopefully, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Grim Fandango was okay. Yeah, it's just PS4 and Steam. Damn.
But I'd be interested to see how
anyway.
because your internet is now working a lot better. So
Well, I remember I tried before with Battle Block Theater. When my internet was just fine. It's running both OBS and a Steam game that requires 60 frames.
yeah,
Doesn't work. It just doesn't jive with my setup
it doesn't
because it's all
jive
on a
on.
laptop. If I had a streaming PC my laptop and was doing one function on each one, it would work fine.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, for those that don't know what I'm talking about with Grim Fandango, Grim Fandango is an old game that LucasArts made way back in the day, back in the 90s, which was a PC only game and like you could kind of term it as like a um, sort of like those Sierra Online games like Leisure Suit Larry and King's Quest and Space Quest, where like it's sort of a point and click adventure, but it involved you playing. I think his name is, I can't remember, but it's like you play a dude who like a travel agent for death,
Right.
or like it's some kind of wacky concept, and like it has this super cool art style, and was very funny, like was very humorously written, and they've now remastered it. I don't know if they did a Kickstarter for it or not, but it's now remastered. And I always remembered looking at this game. We never had a computer that was good enough to play it.
Well, it was on PS2, wasn't it? As well.
I
I think it was PS2 as well. Maybe. Let's check.
No, because it came out in the 90s. Like this was like late Super Nintendo era. I'm pretty sure.
No, I
Where?
don't think so. Let's find out. Platforms. Oh yeah, just Windows. 1998. Sorry.
Yeah,
My bad.
1998. So like even the PS1 had just come out.
Yeah.
So it was only on there. Anyways, it's supposed to be like a game where there's the sort of like a noir style
Yeah.
story with like crime and corruption in the big city, except you're playing in a city where like everybody's the undead,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like they're either skeletons or like funny looking dudes, and had a cool art style to it, and it was directed by what's his name, guy who makes all those fun games, fucking Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion.
Oh,
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and like it has that humor that like games that he made later, like Brutal Legend, and so he did Psychonauts too. I never
Yeah, he
played
did Psychonauts.
but I heard it was like wacky and twisted, and I want to play it.
Yeah.
But like it had a good sense of humor to it, which games didn't necessarily always have, and it was actually genuinely kind of fun. So I really want to play that
Yeah.
as part of. Look at me! It's all these new games out, and I want to play the fucking remastered game from the '90s.
It's okay. One
Tip
thing that I really want to start streaming soon again, and not again, but start streaming is the Batman games. Get those out of the way before the new one comes out.
Yeah, God, those Arkham games are fun.
Yeah. You still have Asylum of mine, don't you?
I do, yes.
Bring it back.
I can bring that back to you because apparently, yeah, I played more of it after I streamed a little bit of it, so
Yeah.
I feel guilty streaming it again because I'm like, so I'm 4 hours down the road.
Yeah. So on that note as well, G2A has their discounts for the weekend.
Ooh.
Notably so, Shadows of Mordor. Sorry, Shadow of Mordor.
Peace Muck's gonna kill you.
Peace, $18. Call of Duty's $38. Assassin's Creed is $27. Batman Asylum is $5, as is Origins.
Origins.
I say that just to piss you off.
$5.
$5 for City as well. Fear 3 is $1.80. I think if anyone hasn't played the Fear games, those are fun as hell. Vanishing of Ethan Carter is only $9.99, which has had a lot of positive reviews. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is only $14. Bloops, 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 bloops. Saints Row Purple Dildo Edition is $14.
Oh dear.
The greatest Call of Duty game ever, Modern Warfare 2, is only $8.
Really? You think that's the best one?
No, I think probably 4 or World at War. On that note, too, the new Call of Duty game that's coming out in 2015 is the same guys.
The same game.
Is the same game. No, is the same company that did World at War. So it looks like we're hopefully going back to a World War II era Call of Duty, because World at War is, in a lot of people's opinions, is the best Call of Duty, and probably because it has Jack Bauer in it. But
You know, actually, I'm not interested in playing the new Call of Duty. You know what would make me interested in playing the new Call of Duty?
3 Kevin Spaceys.
No. No. If they kept the World War II part to it, but made it about the war in the South Pacific, not the European part.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
That
the European part is so popular, and I think.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think even with the first couple Call of Duties, they were World War whatevers.
Well, Call of Duty 2 was the first one that focused on World War II. And actually, probably in my opinion, Call of Duty 2 is my favorite, because there was the one mission where you stormed Normandy. Mm-hmm. And I can remember playing that. I played that game in college. So it came out, or it's not when it came out, but I played it my first year of university, so 2003.
Whenever that was,
yeah. God damn it, I'm old. And that I remember playing that mission over and over and over, because you would storm up the beach and then running through their bunkers, and it was just like, holy shit, this is intense. And I think I can't remember. I know there's some Call of Duty World War II ones where you've done the whole Pearl Harbor story.
Yeah, I remember that part of it. I think the part I guess I'm thinking of is the like where the U.S. Army had to go and fight Japanese on, not just in Japan, but on all of the islands in the South Pacific, because they took over all of them.
Yeah.
And there's been lots of movies like Flags of Our Fathers about that. And Thin Red Line was about that as well. Mm-hmm. The thing about that is that you're not only are is it still really intense action, they were fighting on some of the most amazing kind of like tropical settings.
Right.
So to have that, like World War II, unfortunately ends up being big shades of brown and gray and drab, because that's what it was. They bombed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But that one, it was like, wow, this is like legitimately they're fighting in places like Malaysia, where it'll have this countryside of like grass and exotic animals.
Wow.
Careful. And like tribes people, and then suddenly there's these massive armies that come through and fight battles.
Yeah.
And it would just, like, especially on the new gen consoles, it would be just like a graphic fat fest if they ever did it properly.
Yeah, well, and I can't remember, has there ever been any Call of Duty games or games like that have focused on like the Vietnam War? And I know a lot of people, like, and it's probably an American thing because it didn't really go all that well. I don't think you can really say either side won the Vietnam War.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to the Vietnam War.
But
that one, I don't know I don't know if there's ever been a game about it. There may have been.
I don't know.
I don't know that it would make a good game though, because they didn't really have, by that point in time, war had evolved to the point where battles were not really so much battles anymore.
Right.
Like they wouldn't be interesting as far as a video game would be.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of hiding, it was a lot of sneak attack, it was a lot of and unless it was something, the only big one was the Tet Offensive, which Tet is like the big Vietnamese holiday. And the Americans kind of decided, kick back and relaxed on Tet, because they're like, well, it's the Tet holiday, they're not going to do anything, and they surprise them by doing a massive offensive all over the country.
Right.
So like something like that'd be interesting, but on whole, I don't think it would make a great game because it doesn't have great combat.
And
So it's just the way the war was at that point.
I would love to see, and this is probably is a more single player focus, but to have a Call of Duty game or a game like that go back in time and say the American Civil War, War of 1812, all these, yeah, but and I don't know. I mean, I don't play a lot of first person war games, but yeah, to have like a Call of Duty Civil War or
that I could get behind.
And I part of it was got me interested playing Assassin's Creed Unity, but like the whole French Revolution, that back in that time, like I think
Crusades even.
Yeah, and I think that would be, and then I could see it now, the multiplayer. You're playing a map and you go and you go to shoot a guy and you shoot him and you miss and you're like, oh, and then you start packing in the stuff of your gun and getting it all ready, and then like, to me, that would make a great game. But
I think I would be really interested in that, being a social studies or an ex-social studies teacher.
Yeah,
like there is so many things that are interesting about the way that you do that. So like even
I just saw the replay of me doing the gun thing and
warfare.
it looked like I was masturbating. That was great. Yep.
But like, you know, there would be, yeah, you're right, the Civil War would be interesting to look at. You know, there's so many kind of older methods of war that would be just cool to explore.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, companies have such a hard on for, you know, big guns and run and gun.
Well, and that's
stuff,
because of the generation of the kids playing Call of Duty nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare focuses on Korea, and North Korea is invading South Korea, and America comes into, but I mean, yeah, that's a lot of the, and I'll admit that playing the Modern Warfare games and watching, like in Modern Warfare 2, when it was Modern Warfare 2, no, it was Modern Warfare 3, when the Eiffel Tower blows up and Big Ben blows up, like it's kind of cool in a sense of, it's like it's modernized, so it's like you can relate to the landscaping area, but it
also at one point becomes, oh, watch us, we can blow up the Eiffel Tower. Like I remember watching or playing the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah. And
I mean, like, spoilers to anybody who hasn't played Modern Warfare.
Earmuffs.
When you get to the point where the nuke goes off,
right,
that to me was the biggest holy shit moment that you could get.
Yeah. And
it didn't have to involve a gimmicky, we're gonna blow up the Eiffel Tower. It was a realistic situation where it could have happened. And you know, that's kind of the fantasy, I guess, of even through the whole nuclear war, like through the Cold War. I mean, there was points where we were minutes away from nuclear missiles getting launched back and forth,
right,
during the Cuban Missile Crisis. But that was always the thing about the Cold War, is that it was like the tantalizing, will they or won't, no, we're not, no.
So I could say now, the Call of Duty Cold War Edition is literally not a bullet is fired.
Yeah, exactly. It would be negotiations and fucking spy tactics, and that would be it.
Yeah.
But like that one where the actual, like, the nuke went off, it was like, oh shit.
Right.
And it shows that, you know, the guy in the helicopter as they're trying to get away, and the nuke goes off, and it's like treated very realistically and not a happy moment.
Yeah.
Not something that like, oh, I'm gonna survive in this nuclear wasteland. Nope, you gonna die.
You gonna die, fool.
Like that was like, wow. Because you don't expect that. You just expect, you hear nuclear. Oh no, but they're not gonna actually.
Actually, it's pronounced nuclear.
Shut it, W. But like that I think the Modern Warfare games, when I remember seeing the commercial where it's like they blow up the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
Really, like it's like it was like they had to one up themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, truthfully, they need to do that, and this is a whole different side of the Call of Duty because it's the campaign side of it. So to be fair, like I'm still a firm believer that they could release strictly multiplayer like what Titanfall did and still be just as successful, because I still stand by that. I'm literally the only person that has ever played the Call of Duty campaigns, but I would love to see more Call of Duty campaigns or longer campaigns, and
Yes.
and I mean, but the problem is that the multiplayer is the esports side of the multiplayer and all that. It's so popular right now.
Let me put it this way: if Call of Duty had no multiplayer, I would likely own more than just one of them.
But you don't have to play the multiplayer. All I'm saying is that if they put more effort into the campaign.
No, but if you look at the games, they put more effort into the multiplayer because that's what more people are going to play. So if you put a multiplayer and a campaign on the same disc, well, that means that you have a certain amount of that disc is going to be taken up by the multiplayer, and a certain amount by the campaign.
Right.
If the campaign is going to be less of your focus because most people are there for the multiplayer, like you said, if they released a multiplayer only, release that as one disc, and then release an actual game.
So you do like a single player campaign game where it's like you're charging $39 for that, and you release a multiplayer version where you're charging $39 for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, because the multiplayer guys, they spend $60 on the game plus $60 on the season pass. So every single year they're spending $120 on Call of Duty, and that's outrageous.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, it's nor here or there, but I still think it would be great if Call of Duty was the online side of it was simply DLC or digital downloads.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Because then, and I think for those of us on the other side of it that would rather play the campaign,
Yeah.
then they can actually be like, let's make an 18-hour interesting campaign that, has nothing to do with multiplayer, and we can focus on making that interesting. Rather than it be, well, we got to do multiplayer, we got to do part of this, so we're going to have an 8-hour campaign that, will be okay.
Right.
And then the multiplayer, which everybody will play, and everyone will forget that we even have a campaign.
But I'll be perfectly honest. Any game that has to do with true stories or historical moments or monuments or areas, I will play the shit out of it. And I think that's why I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Unity. Not so much because of the actual gameplay, but the setting. Like you're in 1700s Paris, and the fact that they actually modeled it to a T. Like you think of Watch Dogs, where it's like it's Chicago to a T.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Like if there was these Call of Duty games that were, and they've got such a huge market. Like they've sold $500 billion. That's right. I made up a new dollar value of games, and they can use these games to almost be educational too. And I know that I learned things about Paris that I didn't know because of a video game. And kids can learn more about World War II or this war or that war based on a Call of Duty game. I guarantee you that's true.
They don't just have to play Mario is Missing anymore.
Exactly. Like it should be. I would love to see some point in the future where history classes or social studies classes are teaching a video game. Like, here, you can get in there and actually be a part of Normandy, or you can be a part of this or a part of that, and really feel that experience.
You want to know something cool? I don't know that I ever told you this before. When I was teaching in Boyle, that year, the senior high English teacher talked to me, and she said, "I'm gonna do this unit," because they're reading the book 1984.
Right.
Yeah, have you ever read 1984?
Years ago.
You know what it's about, though.
Yeah.
It's the
Big
whole,
Brother's
like,
watching.
this-
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole dystopian thing.
Right.
They were doing that, and as part of that unit about dystopian stuff, she had a nephew that told her about BioShock.
Right.
And So showed like the whole. So he actually showed her this game, and that game is so rooted in 1984 and Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. In
Yeah.
fact, Ayn Rand, like Andrew Ryan, is a jumbled version of We Are Ayn Rand.
Right.
So that's not an accident. So she actually got me to help her out with this for a week, where we played BioShock in the class
Yeah.
as part of their research on dystopian stuff. So we kind of developed this, like I helped her out with like building a whole like thing about the game, and it would have been, had I stuck around teaching there, like had they kept me on,
Right.
past the year, other than the fucking budget cuts. Screw you, Alberta government. It would have been super cool, because basically what I did as I went in was I played the game at the speed that it could be basically told as a story,
Yeah.
up to certain points where that was, you learned from doing, like watching the game. That's why, part of the reason why BioShock's one of my all-time favorites,
Right.
because it is rooted in real history. Even though it's totally out there and off the wall, it's rooted in like real ideas. And there are some games that are absolutely like that. The Assassin's Creed games are really good examples. The Civ games are even better examples.
Yeah. But it's so interesting, because the way that kids are these days, where they're on their phones all the time, they're on computers all the time, TVs all the time, and it's not just kids that are like that, but I guarantee you there are certain things that people know strictly from a video game. And
for sure.
and I've read countless articles about the capacity of learning through gaming, and how, like, there was even one article that I read where it was how being a World of Warcraft raider can almost be something you can put on a resume, in the sense of its planning, organizing, strategy, like
Leadership.
yeah, like, and like being a raid leader, it's like, okay, we're going through, like, it's like you're brainstorming in a roundtable discussion or something, and I mean, obviously no one would ever really understand that, but it totally made sense what they were talking about. It's like you have leadership skills, you have procedural skills, and all sorts of planning and this and that, and then carrying out your objectives, goal oriented, and it totally made sense. But if you were to go up to an oil and gas company and be like, I'm a video game nerd and I would be good for your company, they'd be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Well, and it's more progressive ideas. Like, I know some of the schools that I went into teaching, there were some kids that were doing assignments and projects on Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft is crazy how much young people are learning from it, in the sense of like sciences and the physics and the chemistry, where it's like, okay, you're building structural and like, okay, I'm gonna build a mining quarry, and I'm gonna like, there's electrical blah blah blah, electrical stuff, lasers,
freaking laser beams.
But I guarantee you, and it's just comes back to, I'm willing to bet in the future that there's stuff like Minecraft or war games or I mean, great example. I think it just came out on Tuesday for PS4 and Xbox One, Risk.
Yeah. Oh.
And part of me really wants to buy it, because I mean, we played the shit out of Risk as kids, and like, just I learned about world maps partially because of Risk, and not only that too, but I think even back to when we had our MS DOS computer, I learned so much about flags from Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego, yeah, that's right.
And those fuckers were tricking me into educating me, but
they trolled me. Well, you know what? I can honestly say, as a person that liked that sort of stuff enough to become a teacher in those areas, I can honestly tell you that not only the game but the kid show on PBS of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is probably 80% responsible for the fact of why I know so much geography,
And
and especially political and like not physical geography, like political geography, countries
Right.
and such.
and I can remember.
Hang on. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I can remember with Carmen Sandiego, the TV show, when the very last they would have the map and they would have their flags and it would be like, okay, here, and they would every so often you would get Canada and these Alberta, and they'd run over to Quebec and just throw it down, or Nova Scotia, Northwest Territories, and it was just like,
I just didn't know it yet. That one, you know what? I almost felt bad. I remember I went on a YouTube binge of Carmen. There are so many Carmen Sandiego episodes of,
Yeah.
like on YouTube.
'Kay.
It's freaking great.
To go-
But I remember going through a bunch of them and thinking like, how ripped off would you be if you were a kid? Like, oh my god, I got to the finals of the Carmen Sandiego game. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go like win a trip anywhere that they write down in the thing, and then I get there and it's like, I get the fucking map of Asia. It covers the whole goddamn floor, and you're running from like Japan to fucking Saudi Arabia,
yeah,
going all the way. Whereas then it's like, at least if it's Europe, it's like, okay, they're all right there,
Right.
You know, or if it's the U.S., well, we're all American here. We know our states.
right.
Canada, oh, we don't have a fucking clue. This is shitty. Like,
Canada's a hat.
Like, you knew the ones, and especially it was Africa and Asia. You were just like, I'm never gonna get this. This is so
The only
bad.
times I get excited when it would be like Russia, China, or
Yeah.
if it'd be Africa, South Africa. Okay, I'm going down.
Africa.
West Africa.
Egypt.
Okay, I'm going that way.
Yeah, that's what's
speaking of 90s game show type shows, I found myself on a YouTube rabbit hole last night as well. It's funny you say that, but I found my way into Supermarket Sweeps.
Oh my god,
And
that's back again. Guy Fieri's doing that sort of
oh really?
on the Food Network. Well, his is a little bit different. His isn't all supermarket stuff, but he's got like a full supermarket
Yeah.
behind him, and they have to get stuff and then cook something out of it. So it's
Really?
like Supermarket Sweep with a cooking show added onto it.
But like I can remember when it would be at the end and they would have like the minute 30, minute 50 or whatever to basically get as much expensive groceries as they could, and then there was like bonus stuff they could get and this and that. And I just remember laughing at these people just throwing turkeys into their, and having like a cart full of turkeys and running, and then entire wheels of cheese and hams and
Yeah.
and it was just
like the big obus form, like foot massagers and
yeah. And then I would love it would be like a bonus thing if you can. The one I was watching, it was they had an ice cream machine, and it was if you could fill up this thing that was like this big of ice cream, and it was like fill it up a third this flavor, that took up like fucking 3/4 of the time, and all they got was like $100 bonus out of it. And then at the very end, watching them run around for the clues, and then the cash was hidden, and you had to like 3 clues, and then the last one you'd find the $5,000 cash or whatever it was.
I forgot
Oh
about that.
man, I used to love that show.
Freaking Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah.
There were some bad ideas back in the day. The Guy Fieri one is, I mean, I don't mind Guy Fieri. I get why people think he's a tool, but he's got personality.
What did he become popular from? Was it Top Chef?
He won the very first competition for Get Your Own Show on Food Network.
Oh, the next Food Network
Next
Star or whatever
Food
it's
Network
called.
Star, yeah. He's the very first winner of that, and he he might be their biggest moneymaker other than Bobby Flay.
I think he's probably more popular than Bobby Flay, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably true because Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is probably the most watched show on the Food Network.
Oh, I'd say it's probably one of the more watched syndicated shows on TV, in my opinion.
Yeah, in general, that's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
But I mean, he also is.
He hosted a game show too, didn't he?
He was on like a real game show, Minute to Win It, or one of those ones.
Oh yeah,
I
let me look
think
him up.
he may have
Guy
been
Fieri.
after Chris Jericho left. I think Guy Fieri took over for a
Right.
little bit. But the grocery games one is kind of fun. It's called Guy's Grocery Games. And it'll be ones where like you start off with 4 people. They have like 2 minutes to go out to the supermarket, and they have to cook something with whatever they bring back. But it's like, oh, by the way, all of your ingredients must total no less than $10. Or it's like, oh, you have no shopping cart. It's only what you can carry back.
Right.
Or like you can't use. You have to make a some kind of a like stir fry, but without any meat. So it has to be like, so they
Right.
have all these little things that they'll sort of throw at you or give people advantages if they win, different parts of the cooking challenges. So
Yeah.
it's actually good because they also like it's not it's not like Supermarket Sweep where they focus on people going fucking ape shit with a shopping cart. they focus more on the like, okay, these guys are all pretty good cooks, and
Right.
it's more of that, and it's much better than a lot of those. There's some shows on the Food Network that are just bad,
Yeah.
and that one is definitely the lesser of many evils.
Right. I want to chat about video game awards for a second. Last night was the 2015 Dice Awards, and
what are the Dice Awards?
Dice. Let me look it up here. Dice.
DICE.
Yeah. So, Dice Awards. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of.
And Dice stands for
Gaming's Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Kind of a big
so
deal.
I'm gonna discuss a little bit with you. First of all, I thought it was funny. One game, outstanding. Where was it? Outstanding character. So there was 5 people nominated for outstanding character.
So that was for games. This is from last year.
2014, yes.
Okay. I can probably guess a few of them.
3 of them were Troy Baker.
Oh, Troy.
As bad as the host was absolutely awful for anybody that watched it. But one line he said that was quite funny. He's like, Troy Baker has been in literally everything. He is actually voicing me right now. But
so Troy Baker was 3 voices.
Yeah.
That would be Dude from The Last of Us.
No, that was 2013.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be who did he voice in GTA?
Nobody of importance. GTA was also 2013.
Wow, shit. Okay.
So he was Ming Pen in Far Cry 4.
Okay.
He was Talion in Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
And he was, what was the other one he was nominated for? Let me look him up. Troy Baker. I would have sex with Troy Baker. What?
Wow.
Okay. Let's see here.
Rover Line 1, Desperate and Lonely.
He was also. What was he also? Oh, he was also nominated for Desmond Rowe in Infamous Second Son.
Oh, okay.
And then also was nominated. I can't remember one of the other ones, but then Kevin Spacey was nominated. So,
yes.
So it was like we have what was it that the host said? We have Academy Award nominated Kevin Spacey nominated for one of our awards, and he's a fucking underdog. But
he just won. To digress a bit, Kevin Spacey won the Golden Globe this year for House of Cards.
Yeah.
And that's the first Golden Globe he's ever won.
Yeah.
He didn't win for American Beauty.
Did he win the Oscar for American Beauty?
Oh,
Has he ever won an Oscar? Let's look.
I'm gonna look. I want to say he did, but that was a weird.
Kevin Spacey won 2 Oscars. It says.
Okay, so yeah, he won.
He won American Beauty and Usual Suspects.
And Usual Suspects. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't win for American Beauty for the Golden Globe. Somebody else did.
Interesting.
But like, he gave the best speech of the night at the Golden Globes. for two reasons. One, because he's like,
Didn't he say the F word?
he said the F word because he said I've been up here. This is my 8th nomination. He's like, I gotta say, it feels really fucking good to win. But he gave a really nice speech about the like actors and doing their craft in movies. And,
Right.
One of the things that he mentioned was about an old, this has nothing to do with video games, but an old director named Stanley Kramer, who did lots of really successful movies, like Oscar-winning movies, like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and It's a Mad, Mad World, and Judgment at Nuremberg,
Right.
and the Defiant Ones, all these like great, like down in history, classic Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
And he was friends with him. Kevin Spacey was friends with this director as he was getting old, and like he had Alzheimer's, and so he never really knew when he was talking to him. Sometimes if he was paying attention, and he right before this guy died, Kevin Spacey had seen him, and he says, I want to thank you for making movies in this. And the line was something like, Stanley Kramer actually said, "Thank you, I just wish they were better."
Yeah.
Which is sort of like, haha, but also,
I just want to be better or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. So it's it was a nice speech.
So anyways, going back to the DICE Awards, which I renamed the Middle Earth and Destiny Awards. So I'm going to start from the bottom. Now we're here. So
Wow.
the Technical Impact Award, it was the first time this had ever been given out, was given to the Apple App Store. And then they gave out 2 Pioneer Awards. One was to Ralph Baer, who he patented the very first video game console back in the day.
Magnavox, the Odyssey.
Yeah, well, what led to that? So he
Okay.
patented a box that would that you could transmit a signal to a television.
Okay.
So basically, what he created was what led to all of these Intellivision, Magnavox, blah blah yada yada. And then the other one went to Al Alcorn, who he was employee number 3 at Atari. He created Pong.
Yes, that's why I know the name.
So so Ralph Baer died in December, so his son went up there and did a speech for him. But Al Alcorn was actually quite funny when he did. So it was quite interesting too, because Middle Earth was nominated for 1, 2, 3,
Fucking everything. I'm looking at the list now.
4, 5, 6, 7. So it was nominated for 10 games or 10 awards. It won 9 of them. The only award it was nominated for that it did not win was Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And Game of the Year went to Dragon Age, and it was quite funny. The guys that got up for BioWare, or not BioWare, but whoever they got up there, and they basically were joking around. They were like, "Wow, the way the night was going, we didn't really expect this to be happening." And one of the guys said, we wanted to check and see if the guys with Shadow of Mordor were wearing Fitbits, because they've been going up and down the stairs and back and forth." And so yeah, Middle Earth won Outstanding Achievement in Game Direction, Outstanding Achievement in Game Design, Outstanding Innovation in Gaming, and
Some of these you gotta wonder how different they actually are.
well, and I laugh at this. It's like there was two different games. Adventure Game of the Year and Action Game of the Year. It's like,
What?
aren't those
Same thing.
aren't action and adventure, and really Action Game of the Year needs to be reworded to First Person Shooter of the Year, because Action Game of the Year was Destiny, but the nominations were Destiny, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Titanfall, Far Cry 4, and the Wolfenstein game.
Right.
And then Adventure Game of the Year was Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, but it was like third person.
I see it now. So what they're really saying is first person game of the year, third person.
Exactly.
Game of the year.
And then Destiny won a lot too. It won Achievement Online Gameplay. It also won Action Game of the Year, Achievement in Sound Design, and Original Music Composition. Those are well deserved because when you play Destiny and you're doing some of the missions, and the music is fucking intense.
That's
And
what I've heard. It's really good.
and it's great. And then they had one award, which is called the Dice Sprite Award, which is like the indie game of the year, and that went to Transistor.
Yes. Now, and I'm looking at this, and Transistor's the one that won that. There's two other games on that list that I find interesting. And I have the Banner Saga, and I really want to play the Banner Saga because it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know any. Do you know about the game Monument Valley?
Not until last night when I saw it.
Every time I see a snippet of it, I think like I need to download this fucking game for my iPhone.
Yeah.
Because it looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
At, like how amazing, like picking up the puzzle game where Portal left it off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I didn't know if you knew about Monument Valley or not, but I need to look into that game because it looks absolutely incredible.
But it's what I find really weird is that Dragon Age Inquisition was nominated for. Let's see how many it was nominated for.
Thanks for the link, by the way, Peace Monks, for anybody who wants to take it.
It was nominated for. Fuck nothing. It was nominated for Role Playing Game of the Year, which I believe it won. Role Playing Game of the Year.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. See, the Banner Saga was even nominated there. Good for them.
Banner Saga is so good. And then it was also nominated for Dragon Age Game of the Year. So it literally was only nominated for RPG of the Year and Game of the Year. And I've heard this. I've played a little bit of Inquisition. The music in it is really good.
Yeah.
How it didn't get nominated for music and sound and all that junk, but it just seems so bizarre that a game that an award show like this can basically go down on its knees for Mordor and Destiny and then really uninclude a game like Dragon Age but give it Game of the Year. That seems so bizarre to me, but
it's the age-old problem with any awards show.
Yeah. Thor, thanks for the host, buddy. Thor H13 hosting for 3 viewers. Thank you, Thor.
Thanks, Thor. It's like any award show, any single award show, whether it's the Oscars, the Golden Globes, or anything movies, whether it's the fucking Teen Choice Awards, whether it's the Critics' Choice Awards, whether it's the Grammys, the Grammys the fucking worst of the lot, or whether it's video game awards. They will always be a certain amount of bias depending on who is voting on them. So there will be ones, and part of it will be categories.
Well, the DICE Awards are nominated or are voted on by developers.
Yeah, so looking as a developer standpoint, looking at something like you said, ones for music and sound that they would look at. I'm just looking at the nominees for them. So Destiny won both of them. Far Cry is nominated for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in original music you have Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Who the fuck knows? Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which I've heard of but haven't seen much of.
Yeah.
And Transistor. Now Transistor I would totally believe because Bastion's music was incredible.
Yeah, Transistor's music is really good.
Yeah, so that I totally get. But it's also looking at something like Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Who the fuck played that?
Not a lot, but it had amazing sound.
But see, that's the thing. You'll look at developers, and developers will notice things like that.
Yeah.
They will go, oh yes, this game was really good. Dragon Age was probably number 6. And that's the problem with a lot of these categories. I'd be willing to bet that on outstanding achievement character, Dragon Age was probably 6 or 7.
Right.
And in achievement in sound, You know what? That one probably you could have put it in there because I'm looking at Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty.
Right.
Achievement sound is not the same thing as sound effects. But
Yeah.
I understand why it's in there. Achievement in story. South Park got nominated there. That's fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, I thought it was gonna win best story.
But see, ones like This War of Mine.
Yeah.
Again, a really unknown game, but because it's voted on by developers,
Yeah.
they'll be the ones that'll go like they're the one. It's like remember the Wii game that I bought for you on Christmas years ago, Zack and Wiki?
Yeah.
Nobody bought that game. Every critic gave it a.
It was one of
review.
like it was a lot of people's game of the year that year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody bought it because it wasn't a franchise. It's a puzzle game.
Yeah.
And I want to play Call of Duty more. So that's it. It all depends on who's doing the award. If this were voted on by gamers, you'd see Dragon Age and many more because there's
You'd
a
see
lot
Call of Duty
people.
win everything.
Well, yeah, but you'd see Dragon Age up there because Dragon Age and BioWare are huge names with people that play their type of games. But like in lots of these, and good on them for looking like doing something like fighting game of the year. You've got Ultra Street Fighter 4, Smash Brothers, and then the other two are Nidhogg and Guilty Gear.
Dude, Nidhogg is so fun.
Yeah, like that's a game that would never get nominated at like the Spike.
Nidhogg should have won, in my opinion.
Smash Brothers pretty good.
Well, yeah, but
racing game of the year, Mario Kart, and two other ones.
yeah, and like that's what's so funny. It's like there was definitely more racing games that came out last year. I know of a bunch of them, but they don't even put them in there. It's like, does it mean they're that bad, or like the crew was not that good of a game to me, but it's an Ubisoft game, so everybody knows it. And then what was the other one? Probably Forza
Forza Horizon.
Yeah, but it's obvious that Mario Kart's going to win that.
Yeah. It's Mario Kart's category.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that Smash won Mobile Game of the Year too. I think that should have went to Child of Light, but
that one probably should have been maybe Bravely Default. That one got a lot of really excellent reviews.
Yeah.
But that one also, we don't handheld game.
I do.
Smash Brothers.
I have a Vita.
3. Well, you have a Vita, I guess. Neither of us have any Nintendo handhelds.
No.
Smash Brothers on the 3DS is not just a 3DS seller. It's the reason why the 3DS probably outsells any other console there is.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable how many.
Well,
people
it's like Pokemon too.
On the 3DS.
You talk about Pokemon, you talk about Smash, and those two franchises alone probably make up 90% of the reason people buy a Nintendo 3DS.
You mean people don't buy it to play Phoenix Wright? Objection!
Yeah.
I won't play those games.
Yeah. But don't you find it weird that neither of us ever owned a Game Boy or a 3D or a DS or anything like that? It's very weird that the Nintendo fanboys that we are, that we never owned any.
I don't find it all that weird because of the way we grew up. We didn't really grow up with, like, where would we have ever used a Game Boy? At home.
At home,
we could have
yeah.
played our consoles.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Even when we were on vacation, we had a Game Gear, but we never we played it a bit. But
The best game for the Game Gear that we had was the Steel Cage Wrestling one.
Oh, that's bad. Streets of Rage 2 was pretty good. We did. Have
Yeah, I
Streets of
enjoyed that.
Rage, which was fun. Sonic was too blurry and
Sonic 2. Blah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about that wrestling game. God, that was terrible.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so funny. I look at these awards and it's just so funny that Mordor was winning everything. And I haven't played Mordor yet, so I can't speak on it, but there was a lot of pissed off people in the Twitch chat. And you know what? Had Mordor won 6 of its 10 or 7 of its 10, sure, but the fact that it won absolutely everything up until Game of the Year, it's like when Game of the Year nominations came out or were announced, and then they said Dragon Age Inquisition, everyone was just, even the people in the crowd were just like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's the whole Avatar thing. Avatar won everything except Best Picture.
No, it didn't.
It won a lot.
Missed. There was a couple of.
It didn't win Best Director, and it didn't win cinematography, but
No, and it didn't win score.
But for a movie like that to get nominated for 13 Oscars, like Titanic did, like Lord of the Rings did, and it started winning everything at the beginning. Like it started winning all of the sound and the visual effects and the costumes and everything. It was winning everything, and then it got to director and screenplay and picture, and it lost. Right?
That's misleading, though, because
I don't think that's any different than these and Mordor.
Well, Avatar is a misleading version of that, because when you look at Avatar, it had all those nominations. At no point in time, quite literally, even after the nominations came out, absolutely nobody that follows the Oscars or anything like that, everybody knew Avatar was not going to win. Every single person. Because at the Oscars, they have all those awards, but there's 8 big awards. They're the 2 screenplays, the 4 acting awards, directing, and Best Picture. Avatar only got nominated for 2 of them.
Director and picture, right?
Yeah, it didn't even have a nomination for screenplay.
Let's look at Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings didn't have any actors nominated for it.
No actors, but it had a screenplay because it had a big time story to it, and it won screenplay when it won for Return of the King. That's one of the key things about that, is you have to have usually either a nomination for screenplay, maybe an actor, and then a win director and Best Picture. It's a weird thing with the Oscars, but like if you like something like Titanic did that because it had all the technical stuff,
right?
And a nominated, and they had Jessica Tandy and Kate Winslet nominated. So they had the actors, they had screenplay, and the director and picture. There was no way, Avatar never had a hope at winning Best Picture, because you can't make a Best Picture nominee where it's all technical awards and no big awards.
So why does it even get nominated for it then?
Because it's one of the best pictures of the year, and it legitimately was, but it was probably that year third on the ballot list.
I think the reason it didn't win was because it didn't have the word America in it. It should have been called American Avatar.
Team America Avatar, please.
American Avatar.
But that, I mean, and really that opened the door for and the other thing opened the door. James Cameron is Canadian, so go Canada. James Cameron is an asshole. He is a gigantic control freak asshole of a celebrity director, whatever you want to call him. And everybody knows it.
Yet he's made the 2 highest grossing movies of all time.
For sure. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
He's given a whole bunch of money, and it is control. He has his hands in every single second of like the digital animation part of it, the editing. He is more of a control freak than anybody in the business. The thing, and so an Avatar came out and it was like, okay, everybody knew the story was sort of flimsy, and that, okay, well, this is all this digital acting stuff, so it's an amazing experience, but it's never going to upset real actors telling more intense and depth of stories.
Right.
The other thing that year that had going for it is that The Hurt Locker was directed by Catherine Bigelow,
who is his ex-wife.
and is James Cameron's ex-wife, and it was too good a story not to have her win. Not that made it, because you know what? The Hurt Locker deserves every award it could ever possibly get. They made that movie for no money, and it was amazing. And
except, spoiler alert, Guy Pearce, tear.
Yeah.
You got blowed the fuck up, boy.
Blow the fuck up. But like that movie, and even when that movie came out, nobody saw it. It came out in right around my birthday in late August. It came out. I remember going to watch it, and it was like I was one of 12 people in the theater.
It's a perfect example of a movie being re-released after the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like,
Or getting a boost because of Golden Globes and others, and people going, "Oh yeah, that's that movie. I
Yeah.
should see that movie." And then they go see it, and everybody goes, "Well, yeah, it's fucking amazing."
like a movie this year, for example, Grand Budapest Hotel came out earlier this year. I looked at some movie theater things last couple weeks, and it's being shown in some theaters again because it gets Oscar nominations for Best Picture.
Exactly.
And it wins a
That
Golden
ha-
Globe, right?
Now that happens every year with Oscar movies, but you're right. Grand Budapest Hotel had the benefit of coming out on Blu-ray and being available on Netflix.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saw it, and it also has the benefit of being a Wes Anderson movie. So a lot of people will see it because it's a Wes Anderson movie. And I mean, the man has not made a bad movie yet. So it's kind of like he's had lots of screenplay nominations. He
Right.
hasn't had a Best Picture nomination yet. So it's sort of like, oh, okay, now we're gonna finally get to give him a nomination for Best Picture.
Right.
He doesn't have a chance to win, I don't think. But
Hmm.
but yeah, same idea. Like it gives you get a boost on that.
Yeah.
Avatar, not to be confused with the other Avatar movie. Oh,
The
please
cartoon.
not
It's a
to.
cartoon, isn't it? I don't know anything about that Avatar.
Yeah, it's an animated.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that's really into the animated Avatar. And
Again, my
Yeah.
knowledge of anime is basically Princess Mononoke, and that's it.
yeah, I have a few. I Princess Mononoke. Any of the Hayao Miyazaki's.
Yeah.
I really like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
And The Wind Rises.
That's not
They're all
true. I've seen those, and I've seen
My
Akira.
Neighbor
Is that
Totoro.
another one that's popular?
Akira.
Yeah, I've
That's-
seen
yeah,
that.
That's not the Miyazaki, but Akira is one.
It's a popular '90s.
And one of actually maybe the best one that I was the original Ghost in the Shell, which I have, which is really good.
Yeah,
And they're remaking it, I think.
I think they already did.
They remake everything. They did a TV show called
Let's
something
find
com-
out.
something complex.
In the year 2013 saw the start of Ghost in the Shell Arise film series, consisting of 4 films through mid-2014. An upcoming animated feature film by most of the Arise staff is set for release in 2015.
Okay, so is that, and it looks like they also had a show they made out of it called Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex.
Yeah.
So
Actually, another anime thing that I know of that growing up, Burton got me hooked on was the Prince of Tennis. For anybody that hasn't seen Prince of Tennis, it's so hard to explain, but it's basically like it's a tennis circuit, and like it's like a combination of Street Fighter and tennis, and like people have like crazy abilities through tennis. Like the main character is a kid who's almost like a combination of the main character from Pokemon, and like and he has the ability to like almost slow down time at certain points to get to the ball and do. But then there's guys that do like outrageous power serves, and it's like anime tennis. It was so absurd. And
is the power serving guy Canadian and named Milos?
Probably.
Another
But
game for Milos.
I keep meaning to rewatch Prince of Tennis because I just remember it being so hilarious.
I remember you telling me about this, and now I apparently need to go.
It's
Hadouken.
yeah, the Duke and serve. Yeah, it's so fun. But yeah, and it's but yeah, this protege kid. This protege kid is climbing the tennis ranks of the anime world, and oh man, it's so good.
Does he fight Michael Chang at the end? That's terrible.
Wow, Michael Chang was American.
Can we cut that out? Actually, and speaking of anime, and I haven't thought of this movie God in the longest time.
Febtober,
When I was in college.
1984.
That old.
Oh.
There was this big crazy video store right near the residence where I lived.
Yeah.
So they used to be able to get cheap movie rentals. And we rented this one movie that one of the guys on my floor was like, "Oh, dude, it's like crazy good, but it's super sad, and it's anime." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
It's called Grave of the Fireflies.
Mm.
It turns out it's a Miyazaki movie as well.
Yeah.
holy shit, if you want to like not just cry, but like be a blithering idiot for hours and hours,
Yeah.
watch Grave of the Fireflies.
Really?
It's an anime that basically tells stories about the Holocaust. Holy mother of
Nice.
you know what. It is depressing in a way that very few things I've ever watched have been depressing.
I
Very
had
good,
to
very well done, but it's like, wow, I want to go
curl up in a ball.
myself
Yeah.
now.
I had to laugh. Talking about crying, I was reading a tweet from James Duthie from TSN,
Right.
and his. Let me see if I can find it actually, so I don't mess it up. James Duthie. Okay. Here it is here. My daughter is watching Air Bud on Netflix and getting emotional at the end. So cute. And by daughter, I mean me.
Wow. Go Duthie.
Go Duthie. Air Bud. God bless America.
We're going to start to see more of that asshole because trade deadline's coming up.
Speaking of TSN, I'm so mad at SportsCenter.
Why?
The people on it blow. It's just like
Yeah.
it seems to go in cycles. Like honestly, they like the best duo is probably when they had like right after Jay and Dan left, and they had Dutch and what's her face, the hot brown. Why can't I think of her name?
Burness.
Yeah, Burness. Those two were great together.
Those two are really good. You know who is probably their best duo is Burness and Tasha Stanishevsky.
But I hardly see them on together.
They were on a couple of nights ago.
Like I tuned in.
Oh yeah, these two together. They should.
But like I don't even see Mudryk. I don't even see I know he's doing curling and stuff now.
Yeah, Mudryk has moved to do more of that and
hosting and stuff like that, which is fine. But it's like I think back to like when they had Michael Landsberg and Brendan O'Connor together. Was that the other guy's name?
Yeah.
Those two were great.
Yeah, those two were good.
And then they had this kind of lull, and then Jay and Dan came into play, and Jay and Dan basically were some of the most popular faces in any news networks in North America. And
now North America, yeah.
Yeah, and now that they're doing Fox Sports 1, but it's like I follow them on Twitter and I see clips all the time, and they're still allowed to be as ridiculous as they were on TSN.
Hilarious, yeah, all the time.
And
it's yeah.
But it's like I tuned in, and it was like there was one night, and it was the two brown guys. I can't remember what their names are. Nabil and some other guy. But I'm watching them, and it's like, you know what? It didn't do it for me. And then I was watching again another time, and there was this other guy and this other blonde chick that wasn't Stanishevsky, and I was just like, I don't want to. I used to want to watch SportsCenter every night just for Jay and Dan.
Yeah.
Like I used to PVR SportsCenter.
Yeah. Big Booty's confused. It's a little bit of Canadian stuff, Big Booty. We're talking about kind of our version of ESPN, which ESPN actually owns part of, called TSN. There was the sportscasters, like they are on SportsCenter and ESPN. They come and go, and some of them are good and some of them are eh. The guys that we used to have that were really amazing, Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole, you guys now have in America on Fox Sports 1, which started up like about a year ago. And they're hilarious. Like, they are allowed to write almost kind of not write a sketch, but like they're allowed to write jokes into telling the news and the sports stuff that they do. And it's if you ever want to look at, like, have some good laughs, look up Best of Jay and Dan on YouTube. Even if you're a sports fan. If you're not a sports fan, you probably don't give two shits. But that's what we're talking about, is these guys that are anchors that used to be just great together, and even when they would host with other people, they were also really funny. And yeah, now not so much. Although I will say that I do like Tessa Bonhomme, strictly because she is a long time Canadian women's hockey national team player.
True.
And so that to me is like, you know what? That's really cool. You have. I'm interested to see what you're talking about.
Right.
Because that to me is like, you know, if somebody, when they get somebody good on the hockey panels, like I quite like Jeff O'Neill. I think he's pretty funny.
Right.
But they get some people on there where I'm just like, fucking next. Yeah.
I love when Tortorella was not working and he was on the quiz and
I will not answer this question.
And the hockey stuff. It's like that's great to me. I love that. But I think what'll happen is they'll eventually get their dynamic duo that'll take over that 11 p.m. slot. But it's just
they'll figure it out. I
mean,
even Jay and Dan were both on SportsCenter, and they just got put together by happenstance. Like they both had worked there for a year, and they finally got put together, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're both kind of funny, and we can make a comment of this." So
exactly.
Your A40s are getting admired.
Mayo likes the A40s. Wait for it. Ooh,
gratuitous shot of the A40s. There. I am still stuck. Well, not stuck with, but I go the different route because Grover has his gaming headset, and I quite literally, these are my DJ headphones.
But truthfully, any headset like those, they're better quality in my opinion.
You know what? I paid shockingly less for these than anything that is comparable or worse. Are yours
Sennheiser or?
No, mine are Allen Heath Zones, which are same kind of quality as Sennheiser.
Yeah.
I get better sound out of these bad boys than Beats.
Yeah.
Not that matters because Beats headphones are not worth money. They're not worth the fucking plastic they're printed on.
Yeah.
And they actually enhance things in sounds to the point where it unenhances other parts of it.
Right.
Which is neither here nor there. That's
I literally put the box there. Like my laptop was on the other side. I honestly just put the box there so it was out of the way. I didn't even realize it was in camera.
Yeah, showing it off.
Strategic. But
that's why I put my games right behind here. It's like,
I literally got these literally got here in the mail today, and as I said at the beginning, I've been using earbuds for the past 2.5 months, and like the first thing I did was plug these into my PS4 and played some GTA 5, and it's just like, oh, and then played some music, and it was just like, oh.
I know. I remember when I got these. I bought these with birthday money a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like I had to go home and plug it into my laptop because I'm like, I need to hear every song I own because these sound amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sponsor. It's Astro. If you're out there.
Hook us up.
We like sponsors.
Yeah.
We did have a minor sponsor last week of Skittles.
Skittles, yeah.
Skittles brought to you by Skittles and Astro.
Astro's kind of frustrating because they don't have a lot of Canadian availability. Like you can buy them at Best Buy and Future Shop, but it's like they're $300 if you do that because these ones are the new ones, and it has the mix amp too, and they're $250 American, and I bought them on eBay. And the person, like they weren't even used. I unboxed it, like they're brand new, still in the box, and I paid $160 American plus that included shipping to get them here. So I got a great deal.
Which, you know what, is about what you would pay for them if you didn't have a mix amp in them.
Yeah, they're $150 US without a mix amp.
Yeah, the mix amp is definitely what you're paying for.
Because if you buy just the mix amp by itself, it's $130 I think, or 129 or something.
Yeah. So I mean, you're getting a good deal.
Yeah, but anyways, I had the Razer Megalodons before that, and just first impressions, these sound a little bit better. But the Razers I had for 2.5 years, I guess, and yeah, that steel, I guess, yeah, 160. I think it was 163 American is what I ended up paying for it. So Canadian, that translated to about 190, I guess. But to pay 190 versus 300, and
yeah. So
yeah. But anyways, they're my new pets.
I did also get a good steal, which actually you are going to reap the benefits of today. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I if you watched, you may have seen that I bought Grover this, which is a copy of Final Fantasy 3 on Super Nintendo, because he'd always expressed that he wanted a copy of it. and he's got a Super Nintendo and everything else. But if you've watched me stream on the weekends, I've been streaming with my Retron 5, which is a beautiful thing. And I found out that they were selling them at Urban Outfitters, which, you know, hipster central, whatever. I occasionally go there to buy records. But I noticed they had Retron 5s in there the last time I was there. So I happened to be there near the Urban Outfitters today, and I popped in to see what the price of them was. When I bought mine, I bought it for retail. It was $200.
Yeah.
That was a Video Game Traders, which actually was like, oh, that's a normal price for
Right.
Video Game Traders. Walked into Urban Outfitters, regular price $200. The Retrons were $100.
Yeah.
It was like half price. So I bought one for Grover,
Yay.
and I will be giving Grover a Retron.
When you phoned me and said you bought me a gift, I honestly thought you went somewhere and found Ikaruga.
You know what? I did go looking. I'm not gonna lie. I did stop at cash conversion.
I should have pulled the trigger on the one on eBay, but it was $35 plus about another 40 for shipping, and it was like, oh.
That's too much. That's too much to pay for Ikaruga.
Yeah, and I think anything you buy on eBay, like right now, there's a sealed Ikaruga, and it's the Asian version for $112. Jesus Christ.
That's sealed though. Fucking
Yeah,
sealed
that's true.
shit. Yeah,
Ooh, Ikaruga on Dreamcast.
Really?
But yeah.
Must have been an import.
And it's so funny because I could buy it right now for $10.99 on Steam if I want, but
Yeah.
I want to play the GameCube one. The Steam port to me just won't be the same.
There is
have
the
to-
Xbox port was pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on PS4 or PS3 or PSN. Retron 5, a big booty. That's the here. Let me. I got the box right here. I'll show you what it is. It's one of those Hyperkin consoles. Sorry, I know you can't really hear me. It's one of those Hyperkin consoles. What? I mean the game. Oh, Ikaruga. Yeah, it's okay.
Ikaruga it's a side scroller, but like an up and down shooting game. So
Bullet hell.
Yeah,
Bullet hell.
exactly.
To the extreme. But it's very, very like you have a look at here. I'll type when it's Ikaruga is how you actually put it in there. Put the title. If you just go to YouTube and search for Ikaruga gameplay, what it does, it's got the bullet hell has two different color of bullets. There's blue and there's red. You can shoot both blue and red, and when you're shooting red bullets, you're immune to red bullets hitting you.
So you get a shield that comes around you as well. So
yeah,
basically,
so and like if you're shooting something that is has a blue shield around it, you want to shoot it with red bullets. If you have something red shield, you want to shoot it with blue.
And what?
So it's like it's this whole it's bullet hell, but it's like there's crazy strategy to it, and the art is unbelievable, and like for a came out on the GameCube, for a GameCube game, it is smooth.
What was really impressive about it was for a 2D platform to involve a lot of 3D mechanics into it, like the whole depth perception 3D, and that was such a huge thing for that game. But that's the one of the things where we kind of say if we're ever out anywhere and we see a copy of this game, it's like we got to get it.
Just buy it and worry about it later. Yeah, it's if you like it and it looks good, it is on Steam. If you're interested in it.
Yeah, you can buy it for $10.99.
It's so great. It's a lot of fun. I always like those kind of side scrolly or up and down or left to right kind of shooters. In like R-Type and Gradius and Gyrus and those kind of games. I always enjoyed those. So and like to the extreme.
Now, in my opinion, one of the best games on PS4, Resogun, is very similar to it. And Resogun just came out on Vita. They just released a Vita version. But it's not the same game as the PS4 version, obviously, because it can't handle as much. So it's definitely a cookie cutter version of Resogun, but still it's on Vita. So
put the cookie down.
Put the cookie down. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's Ikaruga. Good times.
But
it's funny, how. Speaking of Ikaruga and being a GameCube game, it's funny how I remember when the GameCube came out, because I didn't buy one until it was almost extinct.
Right.
we rented a GameCube a couple times for some games with it. But like people used to just shit on the GameCube.
In my
And
opinion,
you
that's
go
one of
back
the
to it,
best
it's
consoles out there.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean everybody was kind of going crazy over Halo and Xbox, I guess, and everybody bought a PS2 because it had a DVD player as part of it. So like,
Right.
oh no. So I mean, okay, but like looking back, like there was some seriously amazing games on the GameCube, like Wind Waker, Ikaruga, frickin' Eternal Darkness,
Super Mario Sunshine.
Metroid Prime. Like
Yeah.
there's some primo games on there, and Resident Evil 4, like the best version of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. Mario Mario
Double
Kart Double Dash, Smash Bros.
Toad's Dual Tour, yeah, Melee, like
Basically,
there was,
you could put the word Mario and then any game, and it was phenomenal.
and even the ones that were like N64 upgrades that weren't as well known, but like the Wave Race upgrade was good.
The biggest
F-Zero upgrade was
disappointment,
good.
though, in my opinion, was the Star Fox Assault. Like
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
any of the missions that you were on a ship, phenomenal, great. But then when you were running and on the tank and those
Yeah.
those were just so bad, and it was just
Yeah,
like.
it didn't work so
And I hope with this Star Fox that's coming out for Wii U, that I mean Star Fox 64, as great as it is, you can finish it in less than an hour.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a Star Fox game involve A, multiplayer,
Yeah.
and B, more than an hour's worth of gameplay.
I think the Star Fox 64 did nail that all range mode, which would work really well for multiplayer.
Yeah.
I think you could run a really fun like 5 versus 5 team game on a multiplayer, which would be great.
Yeah.
Or even a melee free for all with just like 30 people in an arena. And the Wii U could probably handle it the way it does multiplayer games on Smash and Mario Kart. It's pretty seamless. So, yeah, I'd be interested to. I mean, I love Star Fox 64 is one of my favorite games on the N64, and the thing about that the replayability of that was the fact that you could go. I mean, there were the different paths that you could go, and getting achievements for each one of them. So that was the reason to go back and play it.
Right.
Yeah, I would probably be interested if they kept maybe the like different pathways to get to the end, but made them a little bit longer, or made instead of having to fight through like 5 planets, maybe you're going through
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a couple of different solar systems or something like that.
Yeah.
I really, other than a new Metroid game, a new Star Fox game is probably the thing I want to see most.
Right.
If they gave me a new Metroid game, I would be able to die happy.
I think I'm the most hyped for the new Zelda game, though. The way that it's been being described is Zelda Skyrim, like open world Zelda. Like, take my money, take it,
Yeah,
take it all.
I'll be interested to see where it goes, because I think I don't think the last Zelda game was very good, whatever that was. Skyward Sword. I didn't think it was very good.
It was okay.
And Twilight Princess was pretty good, but it was a good game in the same.
They're no Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker, though.
Yeah, you know what? Looking back at it, I think I appreciated Wind Waker because it was different than Ocarina of Time in a lot of ways.
Almost everybody's top lists for the N64, number 1 is Ocarina of Time, and number 2, 3, or 4 is Wind Waker.
I know, and Wind Waker. You mean Majora's Mask?
Majora's Mask.
Wind Waker
sorry.
was GameCube. Yeah, I don't know that I know everybody and their dog puts that as their favorite game of all time. I don't know that it would be probably in my top 10, but it would be like number 10.
Yeah.
Number 9. Like there's a lot of things about that game that to me don't work real well, especially nowadays.
Right.
But whereas something like Wind Waker did them more interestingly. It was,
Right.
oh yeah, this is different. I kind of like it.
Mhm.
And Majora's Mask had I think it had an interesting. I might like Majora's Mask better than Ocarina of Time, actually.
I probably do as well,
Yeah,
but
I think I do.
they're probably on, in my opinion, kind of on par. I think
Yeah, you can almost put them as equal.
I like Wind Waker better than both of them, in my opinion. But
Ooh, yeah, that's an interesting.
but that
debate.
opens up
That's
a
an
whole new
interesting debate.
discussion of top Zelda games of that no one
But
will
you know,
ever
I
win.
think we can both agree.
Yeah.
It's all about Link to the Past.
Yeah, that's,
All about it. There's
Yep.
nothing to it. Nobody. You can argue it with anybody else, but you will not convince. Well, at least you won't convince me.
No. But I think that's probably a good time to call the old episode 3 a
Give it a wrap.
fini. Give it a wrap. Again, for those of you that are watching that haven't yet, if you want to hit that follow button, please do. And you can also follow us on social media, twitter.com/terriblegamingb, because you can only have 15 freaking characters. And as well, youtube.com/terriblegamingbros, where we upload the podcast. I still haven't uploaded last week, so I need to do that this weekend. Yeah, and also we put highlights and things like that on there. And yeah, so I'm gonna stream some Battlefield after this, see how that goes. I think my computer can handle Battlefield fine with streaming. I was playing it and it was doing okay, so we'll see how that goes. And
I will be watching. Looking forward to it.
I will. I'm gonna take probably about a 15-minute break, and 9:30 local time, which is Mountain Time. We're gonna go live again with some Battlefield. I'm just gonna put the welcome screen up, play some music, and we'll be back in Hardline. We'll be back in 15 minutes, and thanks again for watching, everybody. And
Yeah, everybody that's in chat, Big Booty and Anarchy and Thor with the host, and Peace Monks and whoever's still there. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We love you all.
It's like a family love, though, not like a
Creepy.
creepy.
Creepy uncle love. That's a little
Wow.
too much. You know, we don't want to. Maybe like the good uncle, like that gives you $20 every now and then.
Love that uncle.
That's, I don't have $20 to give you now, but
All right, guys, take care, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.
Peace.